Hello, hello, Edson Oliveira here for DNNHero.com, and I have with me Scott Wilson. Scott, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Okay, I'm happy because I'm over it, but as you can see by my t-shirt here, I mean, I'm Brazilian. I had great hopes for Brazil in the World Cup, but we lost. You know?
So I'm glad you addressed the elephant in the room right up front.
I decided to come very discreet. I didn't want to talk about it, but
Yeah.
let me put it there. So, but there's one thing about losing, and another thing about being humiliated. So that's what happened there. Again, why that happened, God knows why. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna honor my country. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna show off. And we still have the third place to fight for tomorrow.
Right.
Anyway, that's it. It's over. It's done. Let's keep the agenda going. Okay, so I think that the biggest news of the month, really, it's not that new anymore, but it is the DNN 7.3 release, which after that came right another minor release, the 7.3.1, just 2 weeks after that. Just watched the other day, 2 or 3 days ago, a webinar from Sean Walker. He was talking about which features, what's new on DNN 7.3, and there are quite a few interesting stuff, and they seem to have focused a lot on performance improvement. I have installed just for the sake of testing, and it seems to have a lot of real performance improvement. And there are some articles that I'm gonna post the link here in the video post as well, that talks about what type of performance improvements were gained with this new version. But again, you should be expecting to see anything between 25 and 60% improvement in terms of page load, in terms of page size reduction. There is a lot of reduction that has happened with the admin view of certain pages, like page settings, like site settings. They seem to have reduced quite a lot the page size of those pages. So again, and as far as I did, not major testing, but I did see a lot of improvement there. When, for instance, when you are adding a new module, the scrolling of modules, they no longer load all modules there. So it's very interesting for a site that has a lot of modules. It no longer loads the whole thing. You have the option to search for a module as well. Very nice too. What else here I see there? So again, a lot of performance improvement, admin improvement as well as a consequence of performance. A particular one that I find it's due for a long time. It's to have inside the scheduler the ability to say that a schedule should run in a certain time, in a certain date and time. We never had that. It was always about how frequent do you want the schedule to run. And you run it once, and it starts from there. The cycle starts from there. Now, you can say, you know what, run the scheduler at this time. So it will run only on that particular time. Interesting improvement there.
Yeah, that's a big one, because I actually have a client where there's a scheduling job, but it consumes quite a bit of resources. We want to run it in early in the morning, but how do you do that? I mean, other than writing some sort of update job that has to update the scheduler table to make sure that the next run is, X many hours,
Yes,
what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
So that's definitely big. I also noticed when I installed it, there's no longer the Awesome Cycles shop, right? Or is that an option?
No,
So it starts out as more of a blank slate, just a skin, and that's it.
Yeah, I think, again, I might be mistaken there, but I think there was at least one page of minor content, and it seems that that's one of the changes that they have done on 7.3, which is the skin template, the skin that they have provided there seems to be more responsive, seems to be more mobile friendly than the previous one. I think that's part of the if you call it new features of DNN 7.3. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It comes with a very basic template when you load a brand new 7.3. What else here? Okay. Now, one note about 7.3 is that if you are upgrading to 7.3, I have been having a little bit of some issues with 7.3, more so related to the fact that when you have Affinity URL master installed on a site, you may have to upgrade it first before you go to 7.3. If you upgrade the site straight to 7.3, it won't run if it's running an older version of Affinity. Again, you're gonna see a post here, a link to a post that talks about that that little problem there. Again, if you have Affinity, you may want to upgrade the module first before you upgrade to 7.3. It might be a problem for you. It's been a problem for me, and actually I'm in the process of trying to sort that out. Okay, now one thing that in a way frustrated me a little bit with 7.3 is just that the spam registration problem that we have been facing for a while has not been sorted out yet. I'm not sure what's going on, to be honest. I mean, I've seen some workarounds coming out of DNN. It has worked for me. Actually, I have created a video about that, what worked for me, and again, I put that on a video. It has worked, it's a workaround, but I have not seen yet a solution from DNN core, you know? So again, I'm not sure what's going on. I saw a nice post from PowerDNN talking about what they are doing for their clients. So again, another link that I'll be posting here together. But yeah, I mean, this spam problem is being quite sticky lately. Again, too bad that's not fixed yet. Now, next one. Next one is about two blog posts that came from Sean Walker, and it's about what he's talking about the future of technology on DNN. And it's interesting to see that DNN Corp it's very committed to following. I mean, it's on their best interest. I understand that, but it's good for us as well that are in the ecosystem because they are following what they are following newer and hotter technologies out there. Whatever is becoming hot as well, they are trying hard to follow that. And I'll give an example. What he's talking about on this future of DNN, they came up with a project called Project Maverick, and that's a project that's a research task that seems to be a research task that they are putting together to see if DNN can work in a model that you can develop modules based on web forms and based on MVC as well. So again, it's quite a technical. Well, it's not that technical article, but it gives you an overview of what they are attempting to do, which is, they realize that MVC has been having quite a great market penetration. So for sure they want to follow the lead as well, and they saw that the technology has matured in the past 5 years. So they are trying to see if they can squeeze in MVC into DNN as well. Now again, great from our technical stance that the platform is, we can see that the platform is not stagnant in whatever they believe is the best. They are looking at the market and they are, trying hard to follow that. So I'm really curious to see how this will evolve. And again, from a developer point of view, it will be great to be able to fully use MVC in a DNN environment. Scott, you are a developer yourself. I mean, have you used MVC at all at this point?
Yeah, I have a little bit. I thought it was interesting that I distinctly remember the article that he wrote a few years ago that he references at the top of this article, where he's talking about, it doesn't really matter what server-side technology you choose, web forms, MVC, everything's moving to client-side development anyway. And I think he acknowledges that although that is pretty much true, I mean, look at Angular and the popularity of these client-side frameworks, but I think he acknowledges that but the MVC server-side framework is becoming very popular, and I think they're going to look to address it. And we just had at Blue Bolt a few weeks ago, we had Will Stroll visit our offices. He was in town for a conference in Chicago, and As you know, he's now a director or a product, I forget what his role is, product owner or product director of Hotcakes now.
Okay.
So he no longer works for DNN, he works for Hotcakes. Yes.
Oh, that's new.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay, no, it's been a few months, but
Oh, really?
But yeah, he's a product owner of Hotcakes, so he actually did a Hotcakes demo, and for the users out there, I'm sure you're familiar with Hotcakes, right?
Yeah,
it's
sure. The e-commerce.
E-commerce
Yep.
big module, and it's well actually more than a module. It's an e-commerce plugin, I guess, for DNN. It's but a lot of that's built in MVC, and so it's not a new thing to have MVC and web forms applications running in the same space. The real question is how can you get the DNN core to actually run as MVC without alienating all the existing modules out there that are clearly, I mean, a user control can only be used in a web form environment, and that's what all of our modules are based on. So you either completely fork the platform, but it sounds like what they're trying to do is figure out a happy medium, kind of like they did with getting Razor integrated into it.
Got it.
So we'll see. I'm interested to find out how they want to architect this, because I'm just off the top of my head, I can't think of a way I would do it. So. I'm interested, to find out what they think, and maybe somebody from Hotcakes can chime in, because they seem to they have figured out how to do MVC within the DNN environment, So we'll see.
Got it. But you know what? If for nothing else, just the fact that they follow. I mean, I see DNN because, to be honest with you, here and there I get word about, I'm just dedicating myself to DNN, and I'm forgetting about the space overall in general. But it's good to see that they I'm not sure if they're gonna succeed or not, but that they are trying to. And if you just look back a few years ago when they decided to make the switch from VB to C#, again, that really showed me that yes, they are technologists, they are technical, bunch. But they know how to recognize what the market is pushing for, and they are willing to compromise on certain beliefs that they may have to accommodate what the market is pushing for. I like that. I like that approach that they have. I mean, they are not in love with VB. They were able to shift that to C#, And again, I think this MVC thing as well shows a little bit of that too, a little bit of that willingness.
It's like a developer focus, really, because when you think about it, when you say market, I think you're really talking about maybe the vendor ecosystem.
True.
Because a business person who's going to purchase DNN doesn't know. I mean, would they understand it's written in C# versus VB or MVC versus web forms? They're looking at the features. So, but when you're talking about the ecosystem and the developers that are around it, that's who care. Because I remember the VB to C# shift was a direct result of data coming out that said, more than 75 to 80% of .NET developers are using the C# language.
Got it.
And they're like, well. If we want to get people to develop for our core. And so I think that's maybe the same thing with MVC is how many .NET developers are leaning toward the MVC framework.
Got it. But again, I agree with your point. I just want to add another layer there, because just keep in mind that their main core business is really the Evoke, and Evoke is, whether you want it or not, Evoke is more geared towards mid-sized to large-sized organizations, which usually have together an IT personnel. So again, that IT that you're talking about might be IT inside of those larger organizations as well. Again, I think that one thing goes together with the other.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so links are there as well. Looking forward to see what will come out of this MVC initiative on called Project Maverick. Let's see. Going a little bit in a different direction here. I came across by researching what our agenda would be. I came across this nice set of scripts created by Sebastian Leopold. Sebastian is a very active DNN community member. He's an MVC.
He's the most active.
He's the most active.
You could argue.
Month in, month out, he's there, one of the top. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So he put together a set of scripts that are supposed to enhance the performance of your DNN website. And actually, I just came across that just yesterday. I wasn't able to test it yet. And I see some reviews. The review seems to be very positive. I'm going to look at this. But again, very promising to see someone like Sebastian that is so much deeply involved in the DNN ecosystem and has some sort of a set of database scripts that are supposed to enhance DNN's performance. I mean, I'm very curious to see that, and the link is here. Give it a try. Maybe not on a live site, maybe in a test experimentation that you may do. But again, I'm looking forward to have a look at that. Have you seen anything like that before?
No, I'm glad you brought this back because a friend of mine, Phil Wegerson, he's one of our guys in our Chicago DNN user group. When I had that talk, that performance, the DNN 7 performance talk, I think we mentioned it back in April. I talked about different things like the client capabilities provider and things like that. He mentioned that, but I don't know if that made it into the video that was on our blog or onto the blog, that link. So, but he did mention this, and I have yet to go through these scripts yet. So I'd like to see if it's just applying indexes or what it is and where the actual performance increase is. Maybe I'll take a look at it and maybe give it a review for the next time.
Got it. Yeah, perfect. I'll do that as well, and we'll cross notes here. Okay. Quick note. I didn't know that I knew how to write, so I wrote this blog post invited by Beth Fireball from the DNN store, and it's about how to pick the method that I usually go through on picking a skin for either from a personal project or for a client. I have usually 10 requirements that I have listed on how I sort through the different skins out there, and I pick the ones that I think are more suitable. So have a look. The link is here as well. It's about how to pick a skin and my requirements on that. Do you use skin? I mean, it's not too much a part of what you do, is it, Scott?
Well, at Blue Bolt, we have some dedicated guys that's pretty much what they do.
Got it.
So I think I can't think of very many projects. Most of these big projects, it's all custom skin development.
Got it.
So I've definitely done skin tokens, and I've done skins before. I don't consider it my wheelhouse. So, but definitely can talk to performance because I was actually just doing some load testing on a site. And the skin does affect performance very much.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay, so again, another post that I came across, actually he posted right after my post on the DNN blog. It's a post from Mitchell Sellers. Mitchell Sellers, I mean, he's a great DNN developer. He is a book author. He knows a lot about DNN. That's the bottom line. So he came with this article about module performance and some key aspects that, some areas that we should, or anybody as module developers should be aware and be careful when creating a new module, like caching and some other points there. Again, a great article that works as an introduction. The only thing that I didn't see there is actually examples of, how do you do data caching? How do
very
you do,
high level.
Yeah,
I read it
It was
too.
very high level. So
Yeah.
again, maybe Scott, for you in the future, maybe grab this article and maybe you nail down with some examples, and maybe that can become a video as well. But again, great article, great starter for anyone developing modules on DNN.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now coming to an end here. My next video on DNNhero.com will be about Bootstrap, the Bootstrap framework, and because it's used so much on new skins that you find on the DNN store, I thought that I could put together a video just exploring a little bit of those areas, those aspects, those features of Bootstrap that are not really, how can I say, they are not really publicized on the skins directly. I mean, it's HTML content that you have to format in a slightly better way, or more organized in a better way, like tabs, like to show content on tabs, to show content on accordions type of scenarios, and to explore a little bit more what Bootstrap can do for you, aside from just, get the skin, upload it there, and then try to figure things out. So I want to do a video around that. I think that I can put together some nice information on that one. Now, Scott, I mean, what is it that you are coming up next in terms of video?
Yeah, I mentioned last time, I know we're still waiting on it, but putting together some sets on the search. So I should be wrapping that up pretty soon. The reason it's been taking a while is because it's a hard topic. It's a hard topic, just like performance and things like that. So yeah, we'll be learning about the Lucene search so we understand it at an API level as developers. And then we'll also be building or integrating our content from our modules into the search and doing it the right way. And so that I'll start off with that, and then we'll probably move on to be able to do a custom search page. It's actually a project, a customer project that I'm working on is to customize the search results, which is a whole different topic and almost a whole different topic, but it will go with that. So we'll at least start with the getting our module content into the search, because that's definitely something a lot of people are going to want to do. And then, talking about performance, I guess it's a very timely subject, because one thing that I'm doing for a client is doing user testing and load testing on the site. So module performance testing is one thing, but I think before you can even test your modules, you have to be able to load test the site itself.
Got it.
So I think that's going to be probably after that. While it's fresh on my mind, because that's what I've been doing. So learning about load testing tools, free tools that you can do you can kind of simulate, concurrent users or requests on pages and things like that. So I think that'll probably be after that.
Perfect. Very good. So anything else, Scott?
No, I think that'll do it for July.
Perfect. So yeah, so that's July, and if you have comments, questions, whatever it is, post it here. We have our forums. Again, from an admin point of view, you guys have myself. From a development point of view, you have Scott there, and I chime in here and there. That's it for now. Thank you very much, Scott.
Yep. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.